list all these funds in the Automatic Millionaire. One of the kind of funds I talk about the most is what's called a target dated mutual fund. I don't know if do you guys have a 401k plan?
We have something similar.
Okay. So in the US, if you have a 401k plan, what you're going to find when you open up your 401k plan is you have what are called target dated mutual funds. This is a one-stop mutual fund solution to your investing all the way until you retire. And it will be divided among stocks and bonds, and it will be what's called rebalanced automatically as you get closer to retirement. So it'll go from being more stocks when you're young, less stocks as you get older. There are trillions of dollars now in these target date mutual funds. When I wrote the Automatic Millionaire 20 years ago, it was just getting started. This automatic solution to investing has changed the game of investing for millions of Americans. That's why there's 24 million millionaires, and that's why there's now $45 trillion in retirement accounts.
We have a brain budget. The way to think about it is we have a limited amount of energy that we can spend every single day. I'm saying find ways to simplify your life. And one way I've conserved my body budget is via our sponsor, Factor, who are a meal delivery service. They are especially great because they make fresh meals and they cater to so many different diets. High protein, keto, vegan, vegetarian, low carb, gluten-free, paleo diets, you name it. Every meal is designed by a dietitian, made by chefs and delivered right to me. Fresh and never frozen. So if you're ready to streamline your food intake, visit factormeals.com/diary50off and use my code diary50off to get 50% off your first Factor box plus free breakfast for 1 year. And this offer is only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto review subscription purchase. Over the years, people have reached out asking me for mentorship, but the challenge I've always faced is that my calendar doesn't permit me to help every single person that reaches out. So when I know I can't personally help, I try to push people towards tools that I think can. And that's why I wanted to tell you a little bit about a resource that I think will be great for those of you who are founders of small and medium-sized businesses. It's a content series that our longtime show sponsor, Vodafone, has created. It's called Vodafone Business Connected. You'll find it on YouTube. This series delivers the knowledge that founders today need to grow their company in the digital age. There you'll learn about personal branding, cybersecurity, scaling e-commerce companies, and through conversations with many founders who I've invested in and worked closely with, the opaque picture of building a business will become clear. Some of those founders I've invested in the series include Christiana Brenton from Flight Story, Marissa Poster from Perfect Ted, Leo Harrison from Chapter 2, and Georgia Gibson, who I've partnered with to build Steven.com. And these are just a few of the great names involved. Search Vodafone Business Connected to learn more. The other book that you wrote, which sold incredibly, incredibly well, is this book about smart couples finish rich. That's the title. Smart Couples Finish Rich. 9 steps to creating a rich future for you and your partner. As it relates to how rich or wealthy you become, the person you choose and the way that you configure that relationship, how consequential is that?
It's everything.
Really?
It can be everything. Why?
You're married?
I'm married.
Yeah.
So why can it be everything? Because here's what happens in the real world, Steven. Often we marry our financial opposite. So I always joke, like I used to do a lot of seminars for couples, and I'd say there's 2 types of people that are born in the world. One person comes out literally with a calculator and they're born to track where all the money goes, and they love to budget, and they're super excited about investing. That's one kind of person. The other kind of person loves to shop, loves to spend money. Almost inevitably, those 2 people hook up. Now, sometimes 2 people who like to spend money marry. That's a disaster because they end up broke. So now what do you do about the couple that's got their financial opposites? That's what led to Smart Couples Finish Rich. Because if you are married to your financial opposite, you will fight about money all the time. And fights about money are what lead to divorce. They're the number 1 cause of divorce. The real key in what I've been teaching now for over 2 decades is the way you get couples on the same page when it comes to money is you start with your values. So you look at what do you really value most together as a couple. You put the money aside for a second. You go through your values. What's most important to you? What do you really care about? You talk about your values, and then you build a financial plan around what's really most important to you.
You say that there's 6 worst money mistakes that couples make. And the first of those is not deciding who is responsible for what.
Yeah. So often in a relationship, one person pays the bills. Okay. Who's managing the money? Now, I used to say in every household there should be at least one person that's paying the bills, and if the other person is managing the money, meaning that they're in charge of the investments, that you still get together and go through it. As I've gotten older, I've really realized how important this is, because I go back to the fact that the average age is 59. Average age of widowhood is 59. I'm 59 now. I've had 3 best friends already pass away, all men, and they passed away before they were 57. So all these statistics that I talk about, I'm seeing them come true. And I will tell, especially the women, hear me on this loud and clear, but this is important for the men too. The question you need, this is hard to hear. The question you have to ask yourself is, if your partner died today, what would you need to know about the finances? And the answer is everything. Now, what does that mean, everything? That means you would need to know, where is the money? Does he have money in an old 401k plan? Does he have money in an IRA account? Does he have money in a bank account? What are the passwords to get into the accounts? Where's the will? 6 out of 10 people listening to us today don't have a will. You have to have a will.
At any age.
At any age. Especially if you're in a relationship, you have to have a will. If you have kids, you have to have a will. Is there life insurance? So many people today who have children don't have life insurance and they don't have assets. You should at least get $1 million to $2 million term policy. Super inexpensive. Protect your family. You have to run the drill, right? Like, we got on a plane, we flew here today. The first thing they do on a plane before you take off is they talk to you about what to do in case of emergency purposes. The mask's going to come down, you're going to put it on your face. Okay, you get on a cruise boat. The first thing you do is talk about what you're going to do if the cruise boat's got a problem. You're going to go get in these emergency boats. You need to run the fire drill for your family on finances. I almost died, like, it's now been 4 years ago. My wife found me face down, passed out. I was brought to the hospital in Florence. I was in a coma for 4 days. I was in the hospital for 17. I had meningitis. When I came out of, just like a movie, I'm laying down in the hospital. Doctor's looking over me.